Hello survivors, welcome to the Egg Static channel. Today I will be grading every melee weapon that is in Last Day on Earth survival. With a few exceptions. 1. The weapon is not from limited time events like for example the Guandao from Lunar New Year and the Frost Staff. 2. I will only be grading the unmodded versions of the weapon. And finally I will be using 4 criteria in rating each of the weapons. First I will be grading its damage and attack speed. Second, is its rarity. The rarity of obtaining or crafting the weapon. Third is its versatility to different zombies and situations. Lastly its attack range. Quick disclaimer, this tier list is just my personal opinion. If you have any changes to the tier list feel free to politely comment down below. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, first let's start with the hatchet and pickaxe. They both go in the absolute trash. Despite being easy to craft, these two have a very low attack damage and attack speed. With the pickaxe having a 1.1 speed, and the hatchet having a 0.9 speed. It also has a short attack range making it difficult to go against any zombie without getting hit multiple times. This is kind of what you expected, the hatchet and pickaxe are used as tools not as weapons. Next, the baseball bat is a very useful weapon against very fast zombies like fast biters and toxic spitters doing 20 damage each hit while also being very easy to find. Because of this it goes in the B tier. Next on the list is the Skull Crusher. The Skull Crusher goes in the A tier. It does 45 damage, has a long attack range making it a good weapon to use when sneak attacking zombies or one-shotting roaming zombies. The Cleaver does 17 damage at a fast rate, it is pretty easy to find and craft. Although the Cleaver has a lot of upside, it has a short attack range not making it good against groups of zombies. There are also more weapons that do better than it, which is why I'm putting it in the B tier. The golf club does 18 damage at a slower rate, but has a long attack range. It is pretty common to find in the motel and in green and yellow zones. However, like the cleaver, there are just better weapons to choose from, which is why this is also going into the B tier. I will put the hockey stick at C tier. It is basically a downgraded version of the golf club except it hits slightly faster. The crowbar does 17 damage, has a very high attack speed, it can be easily crafted, and has a decent attack range which makes it easy to use for wall tricking. Because of this it is an efficient and cheap option for players to use. Comparing the crowbar to an unmodded cleaver, it beats it at every level which puts it a tier above the cleaver. The spear goes to the D tier. Although the spear is the easiest weapon to craft and has a long attack range, it does not make it the best to use. It only does 10 damage and is difficult to use in any situation unless you're fighting roaming zombies. Next is the machete. It can be crafted but it's a bit costly. It can also be found by opening boxes in Blackport PD, weapon crates or in bunker alpha chests. It does a very good 30 damage, with decent attack speed and attack range and can handle most types of zombies and is easy to wall trick with. S tier. We now have the fishing rod and it goes in the absolute trash. It's actually much worse than the hatchet and pickaxe with only having 10 durability and outputting only 5 damage. Makes sense, it's used for fishing not fighting. The scythe does 60 damage and has a whopping 180 sneak damage. The most from an unmodded melee weapon, however it is as slow as the Skull Crusher and can only be found in the farm chest at the Crooked Creek farm. Despite it being very rare, because of the amount of damage it does I decided to put it in the B tier category. The hammer has the fastest attack speed of any melee weapon aside your fists but that's the only thing it has going for it. It has a very weak 8 damage output and is mainly used for completing mods and blueprints. Unless you're willing to tank a lot of hits from zombies, the hammer is not a good weapon. Because of this I will put the hammer in the F tier. For the iron pickaxe it goes in the D tier while the iron hatchet goes in the C tier. Now you're probably wondering why they are on different tiers. Well, the iron pickaxe is slower at attacking than the iron hatchet, however it has more durability, while it's vice versa for the iron hatchet. Both tools also lack a long attack range, which does not make it ideal for fighting. I prioritize attack speed over durability, which is why I put the iron hatchet above the iron pickaxe. The katana is very similar to the machete, they have the same attack speed, however, it deals 35 damage, has a longer attack range and is very mobile to use, making it very versatile against a lot of zombies, from bloaters to fast biters, while also being very easy to use when wall tricking. The only downside is that it can't be crafted, however it can be found in Blackport PD boxes, weapon crates, and in the transport hub. Despite this, the katana is still going into the S+ tier. I will be putting the road sign in the C tier, simply because it only does 30 damage with each hit and is very slow. It cannot be crafted, so might as well use a machete instead. The makeshift bat is the same thing as the spear, just slightly better. It requires more materials to craft it but does 14 damage instead of 10. D tier. The torch. In terms of damage, it's better than a spear, but it's worse than a makeshift bat, but it has a chance to burn the zombie for a short while after attacking. The torch loses durability when holding it and has a very short attack range. D tier as well. The guitar is basically the same as the baseball bat, it does the same damage, it has the same attack speed. The only difference is that it is very rare. The guitar can only be found in port deliveries and in the transport hub crate. C tier. Metal pipe goes in the A tier. It does 26 damage with a decent attack range and attack speed. It is also a relatively cheap weapon and feels nice to use, especially in Bunker Alpha. The paddle is literally the same weapon as the baseball bat, except it's slower. For that I have to put it in the C tier. The shovel is like the metal pipe but slower, so it goes in the B tier. The saw blade mace has a very nice 165 sneak attack damage and is perfect for fighting any high health zombie. S+ tier. Finally, we have the slasher. It does 45 damage and does a burning effect, dealing extra damage to the zombie at times. That sounds nice, but the weapon is very rare. It can only be obtained from port deliveries and from the season pass. Because it is so rare, I decided to put it at the B tier instead of higher tiers. And that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and leaving a like. You can always change your mind afterwards. Feel free to comment down below your own changes to my tier list.